Ladies and gentlemen, brothers and sisters, I came here today to tell somebody, you do not have to live in stress, in fear, in frustration. You do not have to let the storms of life dictate your peace. Because when you are truly anchored in strength, when you understand who you are, when you know the power that is working within you, then nothing, and I mean nothing, can shake you. Your peace is your power. Peace is not just the absence of conflict. It is the presence of strength. It is the ability to remain steady in the face of chaos, unshaken by the storms of life. When you have true peace within you, no outside force can disturb your spirit. See, too many people think peace is something you find in a perfect situation, but real peace isn't found in circumstances. It's found in you. If your peace depends on people treating you right, on everything going your way, or on life being fair, then you will always be at the mercy of what happens around you. But when your peace is rooted in something deeper, when it comes from within, then nothing and no one can take it away from you. Your peace is your power because it protects you from being controlled by external forces. The world will throw distractions at you, people will test you, and situations will challenge you. But when you walk in peace, you won't be easily shaken. Have you ever noticed that the loudest people, the ones always reacting, always arguing, always caught up in drama, are usually the weakest? Because their emotions are in control, not them. But those who operate in true strength, those who understand the value of their peace, they don't let small things disrupt their spirit. They have mastered the art of keeping their peace intact no matter what. One of the greatest mistakes people make is giving their peace away too easily. Every time you let someone else's negativity make you angry, every time you allow circumstances to rob you of your joy, you are handing over your power. You are saying, here, take my peace, take my strength, take my control. But why would you give something so valuable to people who don't even deserve it? You have to be intentional about guarding your peace. Just like you wouldn't let anyone walk into your house and take whatever they want, you can't let anyone walk into your mind and take your peace. Protecting your peace means setting boundaries, knowing when to walk away, and choosing not to engage in unnecessary battles. It means learning to say, not everything deserves my energy. There are some arguments you don't need to have. Some opinions you don't need to entertain. Some situations you don't need to fix. Why? Because your peace is more important. Some people thrive on conflict, and the moment they see you unbothered, they'll try even harder to pull you into their chaos. Don't fall for it. The greatest flex you have is the ability to stay calm while the enemy expects you to react. When you prioritize your peace, you are unstoppable. You think clearer, move wiser, and operate with purpose. You make better decisions because you're not making them out of frustration or emotion, but out of wisdom and strength. Life is always going to throw challenges at you, but when you are committed to keeping your peace, you rise above the noise. You become the kind of person who doesn't just survive life's storms, but walks through them with power and confidence. And that is how you stay calm and unbothered no matter what. Silence is a response. Not everything in life requires a reaction. There is power in knowing when to speak and when to remain silent. Too often people feel the need to defend themselves, to clap back, to prove a point. But wisdom teaches that silence can be louder than words. When you engage in every argument, when you try to correct every false statement about you, when you fight every battle that comes your way, you waste energy on things that don't even deserve your attention. Silence is not weakness. It is control. It is the ability to say, I refuse to let this pull me out of my peace. Silence frustrates those who want to see you upset. People who thrive on drama need a reaction from you to feel powerful. They poke, they provoke, they push, all in hopes that you will break character. But when you stay silent, when you don't give them what they're looking for, they lose their control over you. The truth is, people will talk whether you respond or not. They will have opinions, they will spread rumors, they will assume things about you, but your energy is too valuable to waste on proving yourself to those who are committed to misunderstanding you. Some battles are best fought with silence. Silence is also a strategy. It gives you the upper hand. When you don't immediately react, you create space to think clearly. Many people make the mistake of speaking in anger, saying things they later regret, only to find themselves trapped by words they can't take back. But those who understand the power of silence know that a delayed response is often the wisest one. There are moments when silence speaks louder than 1,000 words. It can communicate confidence, wisdom, and self-restraint in ways that shouting never could. Silence teaches you discipline. In a world where everyone is quick to express their thoughts, quick to defend themselves, quick to argue, it takes real strength to hold your peace. People will expect you to respond. They will bait you into conversations. But when you master silence, you learn that you don't have to prove anything. Silence allows you to rise above petty conflicts. It shows that your energy is too valuable, your time too precious, and your focus too sharp to be wasted on things that don't serve your growth. Some of the greatest victories in life are won not by speaking, but by knowing when to be still. When you choose silence, you allow the noise around you to settle, and in that stillness, clarity is found. You start to see what truly matters. You begin to understand that not everything is worth your words, not every opinion needs your validation, and not every fight is yours to engage in. Silence gives you the power to move with wisdom, to let your actions speak louder than arguments, and to walk through life unbothered by the distractions that try to steal your peace. Know who you are. When you truly know who you are, you become unshakable. Your confidence is not based on other people's opinions, on circumstances, or on how someone treats you. It is rooted in an unmovable foundation. The reason so many people are easily offended, constantly seeking validation, or always feeling inadequate is because they don't fully understand their worth. But when you know who you are, when you know what you bring to the table, when you are firm in your identity, you don't need anyone to approve of you. You walk into rooms with assurance, not arrogance, because you are aware of your value. People's words won't shake you. Their rejection won't break you. Their doubts won't make you question yourself. Because when you truly know who you are, you stop allowing external things to define you. See, the world will always try to label you. People will put their opinions on you, telling you what you can and can't do, trying to fit you into a box that makes them comfortable. But you are not here to be what they want. You are here to be who you were created to be. If you don't define yourself, the world will define you. If you don't decide your worth, people will try to set your value for you. That is why you must be so rooted in your identity that no matter what happens, you remain steadfast. Even when you face setbacks, even when people walk away, even when things don't go as planned. When you know who you are, temporary circumstances don't dictate your permanent identity. Knowing who you are gives you stability. Life will always bring challenges, but when you are confident in yourself, you won't be easily shaken by difficulty. People who lack self-awareness struggle when things don't go their way because they tie their worth to success, to relationships, to the approval of others. But those who are deeply rooted in their identity understand that their value does not change based on life's ups and downs. If you lose a job, if someone walks out on you, if plans fall through, It does not take away from who you are. You were valuable before they saw you. You were worthy before they approved of you. You were powerful before the world recognized you. When you understand that, you will walk through life with an unbreakable sense of confidence. There is power in knowing yourself, because it allows you to stop living for other people's expectations. You no longer try to please everyone. You stop chasing validation. You stop shrinking to fit into spaces you've outgrown. When you know who you are, you operate in authenticity. You show up fully as yourself, not seeking to impress, but simply being who you were meant to be. And the beauty of it, when you embrace your identity, you attract the right opportunities, the right people, and the right situations that align with your purpose. You no longer settle for less because you understand that you deserve more. People who don't know who they are will always struggle with insecurity, doubt, and comparison. They will look at others and feel behind. They will hear negativity and take it personally. They will constantly question their worth. But when you truly know who you are, none of that can shake you. You become grounded, steady, and powerful. You don't waste time proving yourself to people who don't see your value. You don't entertain negativity that tries to pull you down. You don't live in fear of what others think. Instead, you stand tall. You walk boldly. And you move forward. Stay anchored in purpose. When you are anchored in purpose, distractions lose their power over you. Life will always present opportunities for you to get sidetracked. People will come with drama. Negativity will try to pull you in, and challenges will arise to test your patience. But when you have a clear sense of purpose, you don't waste time on things that don't serve your growth. You understand that every minute spent entertaining nonsense is a minute stolen from your destiny. Your purpose becomes your guiding force, keeping you focused, keeping you disciplined, and keeping you moving forward no matter what comes your way. Too many people lose their peace because they have no clear direction. When you don't know where you're going, it's easy to get caught up in things that don't matter. You get entangled in gossip, distracted by people who don't deserve your time, and worried about opinions that don't add value to your life. But when you know your purpose, you don't have time for foolishness. You are too busy building, too busy growing, too busy becoming who you were meant to be. You learn to say, I can't afford to let this disrupt my focus. Because every great thing you want to achieve requires your full attention, and you can't afford to let temporary distractions pull you away from permanent success. Being anchored in purpose also means knowing what to say no to. See, not every opportunity is a good one. Not every invitation needs a response. Not every battle needs to be fought. When you know your purpose, you become selective with your energy. You stop chasing everything and start aligning yourself only with things that push you forward. Some of the greatest mistakes people make come from saying yes to things that were never meant for them in the first place. They take on responsibilities that drain them, engage in relationships that slow them down, and commit to things that have nothing to do with their vision. But when you are grounded in purpose, your focus becomes laser sharp. You only say yes to what aligns with your destiny, and you reject everything that doesn't. Purpose also gives you resilience. Let's be real. Life will test you. You will have setbacks. You will experience moments when you feel like giving up, but when you are anchored in purpose, quitting is not an option. Your vision is bigger than the obstacles. Your passion is stronger than the pain. You don't allow challenges to discourage you because you understand that every setback is just a setup for a comeback. People who don't have a clear purpose crumble under pressure, but those who do remain steadfast. They may stumble, they may struggle, but they don't stay down. They get back up, they adjust, and they keep moving forward because they are committed to something greater than their temporary emotions. When you are walking in purpose, your peace is protected because you know exactly why you are here. You don't compare yourself to others because you are running your own race. You don't get bitter over delays because you trust that your timing is different. You don't let negativity slow you down because you have something greater to focus on. Your purpose becomes your anchor, keeping you steady, keeping you strong, and keeping you moving with confidence no matter what comes your way. Master your emotions. One of the greatest strengths you can develop in life is emotional mastery. The ability to control how you react, to remain calm under pressure, and to choose wisdom over impulse is what separates those who succeed from those who self-destruct. Too many people let their emotions run their lives. They get angry and they lash out. They feel hurt and they shut down. They face disappointment and they give up. But emotions are meant to be managed, not to be in control. If you let your emotions dictate your actions, you will always be at the mercy of your feelings. And feelings, my friend, are temporary. They change with circumstances, but wisdom remains constant. When you master your emotions, you don't just react, you respond with intelligence, with patience, and with strategy. Life will always test your ability to stay in control. People will push your buttons, situations will try your patience. You will have moments where you want to say something you shouldn't, do something you regret, or react in a way that damages your future. But when you have emotional discipline, you don't allow temporary frustration to create permanent consequences. You pause before you speak. You think before you act. You learn to ask yourself, is this worth my peace? Is this worth my energy? Is this worth my future? Because once words are spoken, once actions are taken, you can't take them back. Emotional mastery allows you to move through life with wisdom, not recklessness. Part of mastering your emotions is knowing what triggers you. If certain people always frustrate you, if specific situations always bring out the worst in you, then you need to develop self-awareness. Recognize what provokes you and make a plan to handle it differently. Maybe that means setting boundaries with toxic people. Maybe it means removing yourself from environments that drain you. Maybe it means practicing patience when things don't go your way. The goal is not to suppress your emotions, but to control them so they don't control you. Too many people let their emotions dictate their choices, and then they wonder why they stay in cycles of stress, conflict, and regret. But those who understand emotional mastery take charge of their reactions. They don't let negativity drag them into unnecessary battles. Another key to emotional mastery is learning to manage disappointments. Life won't always go the way you expect. People will let you down. Plans will fall apart. Things you worked hard for may not happen when you wanted them to. But instead of allowing frustration to consume you, instead of letting sadness keep you stuck, you have to learn how to process and move forward. Emotionally strong people don't deny their feelings. They acknowledge them, process them, and then redirect their energy into something productive. They understand that setbacks are a part of life, but they refuse to let those moments define them. They don't let failure break them. They use it to build resilience. When you master your emotions, you become a person of unshakable peace. You don't get easily offended because you understand that other people's opinions don't define you. You don't allow anger to control you because you know that your reaction determines your outcome. You don't let fear stop you because you have trained yourself to act in faith, not emotion. Emotional mastery is the difference between living in constant frustration and walking through life with confidence. And when you take control of your emotions, you take control of your future. Ignore the distractions. Distractions are one of the greatest enemies of progress. Every time you set out to do something meaningful, something important, something that requires your focus, distractions will show up to test you. They come in many forms. People who try to drag you into drama, unnecessary conflicts that waste your energy, social media that steals your time, and even your own doubts that try to pull you away from your goals. But when you learn to ignore the distractions, when you train yourself to keep your eyes on the bigger picture, nothing and no one can stop you from becoming who you are meant to be. The key is knowing what deserves your attention and what doesn't. Not everything that calls for you deserves a response. One of the biggest mistakes people make is allowing themselves to get caught up in things that do not serve their purpose. They spend hours arguing with people who will never change, trying to prove themselves to those who don't even matter, or worrying about things that have no impact on their future. But you have to understand, distractions are designed to waste your time and energy. They show up looking important, feeling urgent, and demanding your attention, but in reality, they take you further from your goals. You cannot afford to let minor things pull you away from major things. Every time you give in to a distraction, you are delaying your own success. Distractions often come disguised as opportunities, obligations, and even relationships. Not every opportunity is a good one. Some things may look exciting in the moment, but are really just pulling you away from what you should be focused on. Some obligations may seem important, but they drain your energy without bringing any real value. Even certain relationships can be distractions. People who always bring drama, always bring negativity, always require your energy, but never pour anything positive back into you. You have to be disciplined enough to recognize when something is a detour rather than a destination. If it's not helping you grow, if it's not pushing you toward your purpose, it's probably just a distraction. Ignoring distractions requires self-discipline. You have to train yourself to resist the urge to engage in everything that comes your way. When someone says something negative about you, you don't have to respond. When unnecessary drama is unfolding, you don't have to get involved. When doubt tries to creep into your mind, you don't have to entertain it. The strongest people are not those who fight every battle, but those who know which battles to ignore. There will always be something trying to steal your focus. Your job is to recognize it and refuse to be pulled away from your priorities. Stay locked in. Stay committed to your growth. Stay focused on your future. When you master the art of ignoring distractions, you move through life with clarity and confidence. You stop wasting energy on meaningless conflicts. You stop giving attention to people who thrive on negativity. You stop being consumed by things that don't push you forward. And as a result, you start making real progress. You start seeing results in your life. You start walking in alignment with your purpose. Because the moment you decide that your future is more important than your distractions, that is the moment you step into true power. Final words, walk in unshakable peace. At the end of the day, staying calm and unbothered is not about avoiding challenges. It's about mastering yourself. It's about choosing peace over chaos, wisdom over impulse, and purpose over distractions. Life will always bring storms, but you don't have to be shaken by them. People will always have opinions, but you don't have to be controlled by them. Challenges will come, but they don't have to define you. Your power is in your response. Your strength is in your ability to rise above the noise and keep moving forward. Make the decision today that your peace is too valuable to be handed over to negativity. That your emotions will be managed, not dictated by circumstances. That your purpose will be protected, not distracted by petty battles. Stand firm in who you are. Walk with confidence. Choose silence when necessary. Set boundaries without guilt. And most of all, stay focused on what truly matters. Because when you master these things, nothing and no one can take your peace. You are built for more than frustration. You are meant for greater than distractions. You were created to move through life with power, wisdom, and unwavering peace. So from this moment on, choose to walk in that power. Choose to rise above the noise. Choose to be calm, collected, and completely unbothered, no matter what.